Georgetown. I'm Beverly Enos, and this is Spotlight Georgetown. You can find us Fridays, Saturdays, and Sundays at 8 a.m. and 8 p.m. on your local cable station. Those are our standard times, but sometimes you'll see us in the middle of the night or in the afternoon or whatever else is going on. So I hope that you enjoy the shows that you do get to see. Now today we're going to be talking to Chris Shores and Sam McMahon, and we're going to be talking about the off to college experience. And as we watch the summer unfold and we have all of our fall things going in, we'll get to see how this worked for both of you young men. Now, Chris, how long have you lived in town?
I've lived in town pretty much my whole life, since 1994.
Okay.
So all through school I was here.
So you went to Georgetown School all the way through?
Mm-hmm.
Sam, what about you?
I have lived here my whole life.
Okay, so you're two pretty much towny kids.
Yeah,
Yep.
pretty much.
There's a lot of that. And the first thing everybody wants to do is go away to college, or go away, just get out of Georgetown because it's a small town. And at those years, it's okay, I want to do something different and go away. So where did you go?
We both went to UMass Amherst.
So both of you went to school together.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Did you know anybody else that was going out there, or was it just the two of you?
Yeah, there are quite a few people from Georgetown every year who go. The way it ended up, not many of them lived in the same living area, but yeah, there were probably about 10 people from our grade.
Yeah.
Okay. What did you think of these first couple of years of college life?
It's so much different than Georgetown. Georgetown, the high school, is 400 people, and at UMass Amherst, there's 20,000 undergraduates, which is like over 2 times the size of Georgetown itself. And
Yes, it's a lot more than 2 times the size of
Yeah.
Georgetown itself, and that's just on the campus.
Right, exactly.
Wow, that's a big school.
Yeah, we have our own zip code, as opposed to the town of Amherst. We're
Okay,
that big.
didn't realize it was quite that big. Now, what do you think? What do you like it out there?
Yeah, I love it. I didn't think that I would like a school that big, but I ended up really falling in love with it and really have enjoyed the 2 years so far. It's gone by extremely fast, and it's kind of hard to believe that we're already halfway through college.
What was the adjustment like going from a small town where, how big was your graduating class?
86 or so.
They're still under 100. There were 72 when I graduated, so it hasn't changed
Yeah,
all
well,
that much.
most of the classes are over 100 now.
Yeah.
We're kind of small.
But going from 80 some odd kids to all of these thousands of kids, what was the biggest adjustment that you had to make?
Well, it was difficult since going through school and in a town where you pretty much know a lot of people, to all of a sudden not knowing anyone was a bit scary. Even though we had, each other, we were living in different buildings, and so we had different roommates from the beginning, and so that was a bit of an adjustment, living with all these people that were strangers.
Okay, what is it like living with a roommate that you've never met before? Sam?
It's strange. Well, actually, my first year, I had 2 roommates, and my first roommate was like a complete party animal, and he was out all the time. And then halfway through the year, some people on our floor switched around, and I was switched to a roommate that was really quiet and like didn't talk very much at all. And so it was, you get to like interact with a lot of different kind of people there.
So you had to adjust twice.
Yeah.
And what about you?
Yeah, I ended up being really good friends with my roommate, and it was a random assignment. So about a month before school, I found out who I was going to be with, and I talked with him a few times before. But then we ended up becoming friends, and still are. So yeah.
Sometimes you become friends with, I lived away at college as well. Sometimes you become friends with roommates, and sometimes you just share a room.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And one way or the other, you're there to go to school, and that's why most kids go to school. What was the adjustment leaving home? I mean, you've lived with your parents and family and close friends all these years. What was it like to all of a sudden be out there on your own?
It was kind of scary.
Yeah.
To have to do my own laundry and take care of all my own stuff, but it's exciting too. It's exciting to be independent.
Is that the best part of it?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'd say so.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the transition for me wasn't as hard as I thought it would be because, well, I'm in the marching band there, and the marching band is its own story. The marching band itself is 400 people, which is about as big as Georgetown High School.
Okay, so
And,
the marching band is the size of our entire high school.
Yeah.
And our marching band has probably, from watching the Memorial Day parade, probably 60 or 70 kids.
Yeah,
About
sounds
that.
right.
And now all of a sudden you go to a marching band of 400.
Yeah, and I play the clarinet, and there's 50 clarinets in the marching band. And so right away, I was with like almost my own little family again, like 50 people, and we all got to know each other really well.
Okay.
And so I think like joining a club or doing something like that really helps with the transition, because you're not just with a bunch of people that you don't know, no like relations. It's a bunch of people who have the same interest as you.
And that goes for sports or chess clubs or language
Yeah,
clubs
anything,
or things
really.
like that. What was your interest that you found?
I joined the newspaper, the Daily Collegian,
Okay.
and last year, my freshman year, I just wrote stories for them. But this year I became a multimedia editor, and then moved up to a news editor. And like Sam said, once you have a club and you really get to know a small group of people, and it makes it a lot easier being at a big school, being in a small club.
Now,
So.
what did you do with the newspaper, with the editor? What type of things were you doing?
Well, this year I would help the news editor assign stories to the writers. Most of them were freshmen. And then I would edit the stories, and probably the coolest part was I would lay out the paper the night before. And so I got to decide the headlines and where the photos go, and that was exciting for me.
Something that's different.
Yeah, definitely.
Now, still going to be part of this next year?
Yes,
And is this only a paper, or is it an online as well?
it's an online as well, and actually I'll be the managing editor of the website, dailycollegian.com, so I'm looking forward to that.
So that's your goal for next year,
Yep.
is doing something different like that.
Mhm.
Now, as part of your band, you did some different things with the band. I mean, Georgetown, the band is the Memorial Day Parade,
Yeah.
and maybe a couple of others. But what did you get to do with the band
Um,
there?
Well, we go all over the place. Every year we go to Pennsylvania to Allentown for a big marching band festival, where a bunch of big marching bands from the area come, and that's an all-day thing. We go away the whole weekend. And actually last winter, we went to Ireland to march in a New Year's Day parade in Dublin.
Oh, wow.
And yeah, that was unlike anything I've ever done before.
So 400 kids went over.
Yeah,
To Dublin?
we actually went with the University of Delaware marching band, and so there were over 500 people in
Wow.
one group marching.
Taking over the city,
Yeah.
streets of Dublin.
Yeah.
Could be a scary thought. What are the opportunities of going to a large college like UMass, as opposed to going to some of the smaller schools that you could have chosen?
Well, for the clubs, I mean, there's something for pretty much everyone. And there's an opportunity for whatever your interests are to get involved. And as far as the classes, it means the same thing. There's so many different classes: astronomy, psychology. Those are the ones I took freshman year. So I think that definitely is an advantage of the larger schools, that it gives a variety of different classes and activities.
Yeah. What about
Yeah,
you?
definitely. For the clubs, we have we have a goat herding club.
A goat herding
Yeah,
club?
we actually have a goat herding club, and it's pretty popular. A lot of the animal science majors are in it.
And they
just-
teach people how to herd goats?
I'm not entirely sure what they do, but
Okay.
apparently it's a really good club.
Now, Chris, last year you did an internship with Mass Live.
Yes.
And what was that like?
It was really fun. Mass Live is a news website for all of Western Mass, and I got involved with them doing an internship last semester. And so I would go in twice a week. It was in Springfield, so I would drive in, and I would help with the website. I would do link posts, a list of links for the readers, and probably the coolest part was I got to help out with videotaping high school sports games. So there was a lot of big basketball games and baseball games, and so I got to go and record those and edit it and create a nice little package for them. So that was a lot of fun.
Yeah. Now, you're going to be working here at the station through the summer.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
Yes.
so we'll get to see you behind the cameras here.
Yep,
Do some
definitely.
editing too.
Mhm.
All right. That works for me. Works for me fine. Now, what is it like to come back home again? You know, after being free and on your own and telling yourself what to do all winter, to all of a sudden coming home. What's that like?
I still remember the first time I ever came home. It was in October sometime, I think, my freshman year. It was like such a unique feeling, like this place that I'd grown up in my whole life that I'd never left for more than a week or so. and I had been gone for a couple months, and just coming back and seeing everything again, it was really nice. And then seeing all your friends that obviously that you haven't seen in a long time is really cool.
I remember the first time that I came back and was like, everything's the same.
Yeah.
You feel like you've done so many things and your life has changed so much, and everything's the
Yeah.
same. It hasn't changed. And 10 years later, it's going to be the same way.
Yeah.
Because Georgetown doesn't change that quickly.
Yeah.
Now, you were involved in some sort of medical
Yeah.
issue this year.
This isn't one of my finest moments.
No, but a lot of kids in college, they do this. They volunteer to be part of a group testing medical equipment or treatments or medications or things like that. What's your story on this one? This does not sound like a fun time.
Sure. So the study, it was with the UMass kinesiology department, and it was a study to test the muscle recovery in smokers and non-smokers. So I don't smoke. Myself and 9 other people were the non-smoking group. And basically what we did was they did a strenuous exercise with just my left leg. And then after a few days, they wanted to see how the muscles had recovered. So they did a muscle biopsy on both of my left and right leg. So the right leg would test what it was before. The left leg would test what it was after.
Sounds simple enough.
So, so the biopsy wasn't too bad. The 2 days after were a bit painful. But about a week after, I was pretty much back to walking again when all of a sudden my leg kind of seized up, and I went to the hospital. Sam went with me, and my girlfriend drove. And so I went to the hospital, and apparently I had had a hematoma in my leg, and there was internal bleeding and all that fun stuff. So I was in the hospital for about 3 days.
So this was because you volunteered to be part of a study.
Yes.
When you do these things, is there a pay involved, or is it, okay, see what happens?
Yeah, right. Yeah,
Yeah.
There was a pay and there was a large amount, and so I saw that and decided to do it, and it kind of backfired.
Would you do it again?
Probably not, no.
Oh, okay, okay.
The sad thing is that everyone else in the study was completely fine, and it was just kind of an unfortunate thing for me, but.
Yeah. Now, what would you each tell students that are going away to college for the first time? You know, what are the things that they should be aware of before they leave home? On the physical part, you know, make sure you pack this and this and this, but also on the what to be ready for, and don't be surprised if you feel like this. What types of things what would you tell the kids that are getting ready to go away for the first time?
Well, we talked about it a little bit before, but definitely join clubs, and that'll make you feel included no matter how large the school is. And I guess the second thing is you're going to meet so many people and so many, you know, different things that you're not used to. You'll meet a lot of different types of people, and just be open and don't try to stereotype people or judge them too quickly, because you don't know until you're there, and just have fun. It's a great experience.
Yeah. What about
Yeah,
you?
and like Chris said, all that stuff, and then definitely be active, join clubs, do whatever you can, and really just don't worry about it, because you might forget something or like have trouble finding some place, but really those can lead to the funniest experiences you have, and you're not going to be the only one that has no idea what they're doing. There's going to be, in our case, a couple thousand other students who are completely new, and you'll all get through it together and have some pretty interesting experiences along the way.
Is there one that you want to share?
Actually, yeah. So the first football game that the marching band was playing at, it was before the official move-in day, so students weren't moving in yet and the dorms weren't completely ready yet. And so we were getting ready to go to the football game, and I put my room key, my cell phone, and my U-card, which is an identification card, in my clarinet case. And when we came back from the game, all the cases were gone, and no one had any idea where they went. And we later found out, a couple days later, that they had taken them and just stored them somewhere until we got back. But we didn't know that. And since the dorms weren't ready yet, we couldn't get spare keys yet. And so basically I had to live off of other people's beds, clothes, and food for a couple days until we got everything back. But, I mean, it was really funny looking back on it. And I made a lot of friends that way, actually.
Yeah. An awful lot of things that happen when you're away. You have that instant of panic. Oh, what am I going to do? And then you find a way,
Yeah.
you know, and you make new friends doing it.
Yeah, that basically describes college.
Yeah, it does. It does. You're planning to finish your school, and what are each of you planning to do after that, after your 4 years?
Well, I'm a computer science major, and I didn't really know anything about computer science before I went to UMass. I mean, I knew how to use a computer, but that was about it. And so I'm still learning a lot, and I'm not entirely sure what I want to do yet, but something with computers.
Okay. So we may see you working here, too.
Yeah.
And what about you?
Well, I'm a journalism major, so newspapers I'm not sure about. It seems like they're shifting more toward online, but that's why I'm trying to get experience with all the different mediums, online, video, and newspaper writing. So hopefully something somewhere in that vicinity.
I've interviewed an editor from one of the local newspapers,
Mm-hmm.
and there's still something about, everybody says, you know, you go online and newspapers are shortly not going to be there anymore. It's going to be all online. But there's something about getting that newspaper delivered in the morning and sitting there and reading the pages.
Mm-hmm.
So I think there'll be newspapers around for a long time to come. I'd like to thank you both for joining us. This was neat.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you
thanks for
very
having
much.
us.
Thank you very much. And it's always nice to share with some of the kids that are going to be going away to school what you've been through and what to look for when they get there. So I appreciate you coming in.
Sure.
For all of you out there getting ready to go away to school, just get ready to have a great time. I'm Beverly Enos. This is Spotlight Georgetown. Fridays, Saturdays, and Sundays, 8 a.m. and 8 p.m. Thank you for joining us. Bye for now.